I want to do a quick introduction of the cloud computing resources that will be available to you this fall. And although you can perfectly well install R and RStudio on your own computer and run them locally, I really do recommend that you try out these cloud computing resources and take advantage of them. A, because it's good for you to learn something about these resources, and B, because I know they work. The nice thing about these is that once once they're tested by one person, it's the same environment for everyone. So any issues that you might have caused by an old R version or with installing packages, we have Mac and Windows and different versions, all of which can cause problems with installing things. Those just aren't an issue for cloud computing. And another reason is that at least with this first one that I'm going to show you, the Anvil Terra project, you have available to you significant computing resources in case you might be able to use those for your work or for your research as well. And if you do genomics research, this is a major project to make computing and data available in the same space and also with good data security in place. It is the way that the National Human Genome Research Institute is now moving towards for making all of their genomic data available to researchers. So I'm just going to show you quickly how this works. Let's see, I'll hide my picture here. Uh, so I've set up a workspace for you, and if you join this, if you sign up for app.terra.bio or anvil.terra.bio, you can search for this workspace and request to become a member, or you can use the form that I gave in the beginning to provide your Gmail address. Now that I've already added some people to it, it's probably best if you search for CUNY BIOS2 Fall 2021 and request to become a member. As soon as you're a member to this, you will see this workspace, and as long as you're using it, you will have access to free computing for it. So it's a nice, easy thing. You can follow this link or search for it and become a member. So I'm just going to show you how this works. I have the directions here, both for getting started and for cloning the course materials here. But I'm going to show you it involves selecting a cloud environment. We want a custom environment because we want one of these ones with RStudio. So I'm going to go down to RStudio. I want more than one CPU. I'm going to take two CPUs, and while I'm at it, I'll take 13 gigabytes of RAM. I don't need GPUs, and I don't need any of this other stuff. But as I mentioned, um, you shouldn't use these unless you need them because they cost more. I am providing free computing, but it is limited, so we don't want to consume it for no reason. But if you're doing research with larger requirements, it's very easy just to change your requirements at any point here. So that's it. Also, 50 gigabytes, that's plenty for our purposes. This can be increased later if needed. I'm going to go ahead and click Create. Once I do that, it takes a little bit of time to create the environment. So I'm just going to wait for a little bit while that happens. All right, that took a couple of minutes for the cloud environment to be ready. Now I'm going to launch the cloud environment. I note that while you're using it, you won't generally have to wait this long, but it does auto shut down after some hours of not being in use. And then when you start again, you'll have to launch the cloud environment again. So I click play. I see this is only costing 11 cents an hour. It's not costing you anything. But so don't worry about that. But we have now an R session, and this is a persistent disk, meaning that this is your own 50 gigabyte disk that you are using, and anything that you store here is only visible to you and will be available to you throughout the semester. Now that I'm here, I can go ahead, if I go back to this dashboard, I can go and follow these instructions for cloning the course materials. Maybe I'll try this very quickly here, version control git, and then these commands, well here, I'll just go ahead and copy these into a file over here to make it a little, so I don't have to keep going back and forth. Let's see, click on my OpenRStudio again. I could open those in different windows. That would be one way to do it. But let's see, I'll make a, for now I'll just make a, let's say a markdown file, copying these instructions, git, file, new project, version control, git. Here it is. I'm going to call this CUNY BIOS2 and create it as a subdirectory. Just leave it like this. This is the home directory, and create project. That's done. Let's see. Where I didn't actually save that file, so I'm just going to go back to the dashboard, remind myself of these commands. I just need the git submodule init and git submodule update. And this is something that is easy to do here. It can be more challenging on your local computer because you don't necessarily have Git installed. So there's some more installations involved in being able to do this. But here everything is already installed. I now have all of the course materials. If I go now to my file browser here, I can click, say, on session 1, vignettes, open up the session lab. I can knit this. I can run it interactively. Everything is here already. So it's very easy to use the course materials here on Anvil Terra. Now, one more thing I wanted to show you, another cloud resource that's available to you for free. This one is free all the time, not just during the semester. It's called Orchestra. The URL is app.orchestra.cancerdatasci.org, and this is a teaching platform that offers many workshops, and I've also added our course materials to it. So you do have to sign in. You can use either an email or a Google address. Once I sign in, I'll use one of my many Gmail addresses. Once I am signed in, what I will see here is a whole bunch of different workshops, and most of these are genomics workshops, RNA-seq analysis, high throughput drug response screens, matrix factorization, and principal components analysis. I'm just going to search here for CUNY, and I see CUNY Biostatistics 2, and I can click launch. And this takes, it can take a couple of minutes. It's usually quicker. But the difference here is you'll have your own URL that you can use for up to 8 hours. After that, this instance is destroyed and anything there is gone. So this is really for use for the day. After that, you can go back and create a new session, but you'll want to make sure that anything that you do while you're here, if you create a program, that you download to your local computer before you finished, because unlike Anvil Terra, you don't have a persistent disk here. This is just a temporary disk. And once that finishes, I'll have a button here called Launch Workshop, and I can click on that, enter my RStudio, very high security here. The thing is that this is just a temporary machine, and you're the only one who knows the URL to it. Well, you know the URL to mine too, but this is only for the next 8 hours. But here, things are actually even easier than on Terra in a way, because all of these materials, they're all already here. So I don't even have to do those extra steps. And they're even also set up in a way that whenever I make an update to any of the session labs or lectures for any of the course, it automatically propagates and is updated here. And additionally, all of the packages that are required for any of these are also already installed. Oh, this is something interesting here. I'll have to look into that. I can run all of this, but I am having something happening with creating a directory here. But this would not interfere with you running all of the materials yourself, as you can see. Now, one thing, if you make some changes to this and say you want to download it, you'll want to click on it here in your file browser and click on its More, Export, and that will allow you to download to download any files from there so that you can keep them after that instance is shut down. All right, so let me know how it goes. I hope that you will take advantage of these resources. They're great resources, and they will help you to focus on the materials and not have issues with your computer and with installing packages and everything like that. Thank you and enjoy.